what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca. If today is the first time here, you are definitely welcome. Please do well to hit on the subscribe button before you leave, and also give this video a very big thumbs up at the end if you enjoyed it. Okay guys, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not feeling myself. Like, I'm not in a very high spirit, if that's the word, and I'm guessing it's because of the kind of conversation the love guest had with Aunty just about now. By the way, today is Wednesday, the 31st day in the house, and they just finished their one-on-one chat room session with Aunty, and I felt like I needed to film this right about now because I'm in a mood, obviously. So Aunty actually had 3 basic things she wanted to find out from each of the couples. Now, the first was if they had secrets that they would like to share with their partners before getting out of the house. The second would be her wanting to know if there were deal breakers for them. So what is that one thing your partner would do that would be a deal breaker for your relationship, not just in the love part but outside of the love part? And the third thing she asked them was what they liked and disliked about their partners. Although she didn't speak to all the couples today, the ones she spoke with today kind of revealed a whole lot of things, and I was just like, oh my god, better, you guys know nothing. Like, what we see is not even up to half the fraction of what they discuss, or what really happens in that love part. So today was more of an eye-opener for me, and right about now I'm beginning to actually ask myself a lot of questions like, okay, better, if you were in this space, would you share some vital things? Like, would you really let yourself out? Would you let yourself be vulnerable? I think that's the word. Okay, so I'll start off with Roxy. That's Rosie and Kachi. When Aunty asked what their likes and dislikes were, Kachi mentioned that he likes the fact that Rosie is very intelligent and very smart, and for his dislike, he mentioned that she's a very stubborn person. In fact, he mentioned very like 3 times, and Aunty was like, is it that deep and everything? While for Rosie, she mentioned that Kachi can be hypocritical sometimes. Like, when he tells her not to do some things, he goes back and does those same things, and she would expect that he would practice what he preaches. And for her likes, she actually mentioned that Kachi can be very funny and that she likes that about him. Now, when Aunty asked if they had any secrets they would like to tell one another before they get out of the house and everything, Kachi said that he has basically told her everything that he has to tell her, except like if something else comes up, then he will talk about it. But for now, he doesn't feel like he has any secrets he's keeping from Rosie. And then when Aunty asked Rosie if she had any secrets, she was like, not particularly. And then Aunty was like, do you want to tell us if you have like a husband somewhere, or if you have like another kid somewhere, because we already know that Rosie has a son, a 3-year-old son, right? And almost immediately Rosie became quiet, and that signaled to Aunty that she actually had something she wanted to say. And then after a few seconds, Rosie then opened up to the fact that she has another son. I'm not here to judge anybody, trust me. This is not me trying to judge or anything, but it's just, it was shocking. Not for me, I'm not her partner, it was for Kachi's sake. Kachi was actually very shocked because they talk a lot about a whole lot of things. I wouldn't really blame Rosie, if you ask me. I wouldn't blame her for not telling Kachi about this son, but I feel like if she wanted to talk about it at all, she should have spoken to Kachi about it first before telling the world, because she basically told all of us when Kachi was seated there, and it made him feel a tad bit uncomfortable. I mean, when the camera zoomed into Kachi's face, you could see worry and shock on his face, like he wasn't expecting that. According to her, she has a 13-year-old son, and the last time she saw this boy was when he was 4 months old. Now that's a long time. And from what she said, yeah, the son was taken from her, so I'm guessing the family of the man and whatnot. Now that's not the bone of contention. I really don't have a problem with her having 5 kids, 10 kids. Like, it's none of my business. The other day I told you guys they were talking about their wedding night and everything. I feel like she would have told Kachi this, first, and then if Aunty had asked this, then she tells everybody, and not the other way around. But then again, it could also be that she didn't see the need to talk about the son, especially because she had not seen him in a very long time, so there was really no need to talk about it, or she just didn't feel comfortable. I mean, it could be anything, but look, it's fine. She has a son. That's basically what I'm trying to say, and I'm sure she's going to figure it out with Kachi because she really likes Kachi, and I know that Kachi actually likes her. So I'm really hoping that this is not a deal breaker, especially because now we're talking about deal breakers and all of that. But guys, just let me know what you think. Do you think she could have just waited to tell Kachi first, or do you think it was right for her to have just said it there? Like, I mean, secret is secret, whether you say it now or later. Do you think it would have made any difference? Just let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because at this point I really don't know what to think. Like, I mean, I don't know. Okay, for Presh and David, what really caught my attention during their chat session with Aunty was the part where they were talking about secrets, and Presh was telling David that the reason she is very independent, because David mentioned that Precious can be so independent, like she doesn't want anybody to help her do anything and all of that. Yeah, and she opened up to him saying that the reason she's like that is because she grew in a home where her dad was tight-fisted and would not necessarily give her mom enough money to take care of the house and all of that. So she just didn't want to be in any relationship where the guy would have to put her down because he had more than her, or because he had to provide for her. So that's why she started working extra hard to provide for herself and just cater to all her needs. You know, and for David, he opened up to Presh, telling her how his dad just treats women anyhow, which explains why he's always trying to be, you know, everywhere with her, why he's always trying to be very protective and all that. It's not because he's trying to be dominating, so to speak, but it's just a way for him to show her that he really cares and, you know, just respect her. And that the reason he's like that is because his dad was not like that with his mom. He's from a very polygamous family, and, you know, his dad just treats women like, you know, I mean, if you offend me today, I'll pick the second wife. If the second wife messes up, I'll go to the other one, you know. So he didn't really respect women, so to speak. So that kind of affected him. And again, another secret he had was the fact that he just made up with his dad about 3 years ago. From what he said, yeah, his dad wanted him aborted. You know, his dad didn't want any more kids with his mom. He said that his mom had gotten pregnant the first time. The dad told her to take it out, which she did. The second time he told her to take it out, which she also did. And the third time she got pregnant, she was pregnant of him. And, you know, she refused to tell David's dad about the pregnancy. And that's how he came to be. So imagine if the dad had, you know, instructed her to take it out again, then there would be no David Wilson. You know, sometimes we actually need to sit back and think about our actions, because I don't know, sometimes the kind of things we decide to do today will definitely affect us tomorrow. I don't know why this love guest got me in my feelings tonight. Let me just tell you guys, yeah, I've never, since this show started, I've never been so in my feelings the way I'm feeling right now, and I'm actually stuttering. Oh my god, it's so terrible. Anyways, let's talk about Jay Ketch. Now, during their conversation, Jay mentioned to Aunty that he doesn't like the fact that when he's in the kitchen, Nkechi is nowhere to be found. Like, she's probably outside gisting, you know, she doesn't come close to see what he's doing, and that he would really like her to be there to sort of support him in the kitchen and all of that. And Nkechi's argument is, every time I'm with you in the kitchen, you're always trying to be extremely careful, you don't want to make mistakes, you're very uncomfortable with me being in the kitchen, which is why I always excuse you. And she gave instances of when she was in the kitchen with him and he almost messed up the whole meal and blamed it on her, you know. So she would rather just be away from him, allow him do his thing, and then just come and eat the food, which to me is, I mean, logical, because if I'm there and you cook rubbish, then tomorrow you blame me that, oh, it was better that made me cook rubbish because she was there. I'd rather give you a chance, so that if you're going to put 3 spoons of pepper, we know that, oh, you did it out of your own volition. It's not like I forced you to, or I talked you into putting much pepper. Do you get? So it wasn't like a very serious issue. Now, when they were talking about the deal breakers and all that, Jay mentioned that he sees Nkechi as a very decent person, you know, someone who would not sleep around with married men, or, you know, someone who would not just be everywhere with men and all that. And that's the perception he has of her. And that if they go out of the house and he finds out that she's nothing like she has portrayed in the house, that's obviously going to be a deal breaker. While for Nkechi, her own concerns are even deeper. Like, her own is, I'm Catholic, and, you know, I've talked to him about it, but would he be willing to go through the processes of getting married in a Catholic church, you know, because you have to do the baptism, you have to do the confirmation, all that stuff. She has like really serious concerns, and Aunty told her that there's nothing wrong with you sitting him down and just talking to him about it. Obviously, you have to disagree to agree, and I mean, that's the whole point of being in the love part, right? Guys, it was a different ball game altogether when it came to double Chris's turn, because, oh my god, Chris is in love. Like, I'm so happy, like genuinely happy for Chris. Finally, she has found someone that sort of compliments her, someone that makes her laugh, someone that just wants to hold her, wants to be there for her, someone that has actually found her tickle spot. Like, the guy already knows where she gets tickled, and it's just really interesting to see how well they've bonded in the past 2-3 weeks. I really wasn't expecting that to happen, but I'm super glad that it has finally happened. I'm just hoping that Chrisville is really into Chris as much as she is into him, you know, because the way she was just complimenting him. She said she finds him really attractive, you know, physically and all of that, and you know, intellectually he's there, you know, he's stronger than her, he wants to protect her. And oh my god, she even mentioned that he brings her warm water every morning because he noticed that she likes warm water, and that he talks her in bed every night. Isn't that sweet? Like, I feel like that's sweet. I mean, we don't get to see all of these attributes when we're just looking at Chrisville, you know, just by the way he behaves and always trying to be everywhere. But these things she mentioned is really what matters. It's not about our own perception of him, it's what she feels about him that matters. At the end of the day, if I think Chrisville is a player, which I don't, by the way, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't hold any water if Chris actually likes Chrisville. So I'm just hoping that this works out. And then when they were talking about their relationships and all of that, Chris mentioned that she was in a relationship with a guy who was 17 years older than she was at the time, and they had broken up on the 10th of March 2016. She actually gave us the date. Yes, she's that detailed. Okay, and she also mentioned to us that the guy was married before and that he had 2 kids from that marriage. But the straw that broke the camel's back for them was the fact that he didn't want kids, and you know, because she wanted kids, they had to talk about it. And this whole issue was so bad that even when they are seeing a movie or you know, just anything on TV that had kids in it, the man would turn off the TV. So she couldn't deal with it, and obviously they just had to go their separate ways. But for Chrisville, he mentioned that his last relationship was strained because at some point he had problems with his business, and I think it was more of a money issue than, you know, just regular issues. The girl felt like he wasn't, you know, living up to the standard that they used to live before, and you know, she just couldn't cope, so she had to leave. But it was really painful for him because the girl really cared about him and all that. So it was a good and bad relationship, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Now the last couple Aunty had a conversation with today was J-Lo, and guys, let me just tell you, there's fire on the mountain. Like, I'm not even lying about that. I feel like Jennifer and Louis are not on the same page, and that's not to say that one person is better off, you know. It's just they have differences, and I wouldn't know what to call the problem, but personally I feel like it's something they can talk about if they really want it to work. Because Aunty asked them a very vital question, and her question was, what do you want? Do you want to stay right or be together? And you know, for Jenny, she said she wanted to be together with Louis, and Louis said the same thing. So if they can sit down and talk about, I know it's not easy, let me tell you, yeah, relationships can be very, very complicated. You know, you want to be with this person, but there's just so many things wrong with the relationship, or you think is wrong with the person, and it's almost feeling like, oh, this is not going to work. I think that's the problem Jennifer and Louis are having, because Louis is saying that Jennifer is too defensive. Before you say this, she's telling you, oh, you want to control me, oh, why are you controlling me? And he feels like it might be because of the kind of upbringing she has, and you know, just her family background and all of that, which to some extent is true, because Jenny also opened up to Aunty that she's from a home where her stepmother would always shout and try to control her dad, and you know, just be the voice that would be heard at everything. She was always shouting down the house, and she's very scared because she is becoming that person. You know, she also shouts when it's not really necessary. And from the last masterclass they had on Friday, the speaker actually told them that sometimes you can end up being that exact same person you don't want to be. Like, you're pointing fingers at your mom. Oh, my mom is too loud, she's too dirty, I don't like her, I don't like the way she behaves. It's very important that you also look inwards to be sure that you are not actually becoming that person without even knowing it. And that's what she's really scared of. But for Jenny, she feels like Louis doesn't listen. Like, Louis wants to tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and she doesn't like that. Like, sometimes she actually wants him to listen to her and just reason with her, and truly there's nothing wrong with her. But I feel like both of them just need to sit down and just trash it out. But then again, I noticed that Louis is very conscious of the camera. Like, sometimes Jenny just wants to say something, she just wants to express herself, and it's like, no, don't talk about it here, the world is listening, maybe when we leave this place you talk about it. So almost everything he's saying, he's being very conscious of the camera. So I'm hoping that he's truly into Jenny, because Jenny mentioned that as one of her major concerns. She said that the major deal breaker she would have with Louis is getting out of the house and realizing that he was leading her on all the while they were in the love part. So that's just one thing she's just very worried about. And no matter what he says to her about how he likes her and all that, all those things are still not facts until they leave the house. And for Louis, he's like, oh, I'm being very honest with Jenny, I'm being very truthful. The only deal breaker would be if we leave the house and find out that, oh, the kind of family she has portrayed is not really where she's from, or if she has a child somewhere that she didn't talk about, you know, just stuff like that. So I feel like they need to sit down and talk about it. And did you guys know Louis actually sent an email to Aunty stating that he would like to check out of the show just because of the problems he's been having with Jenny? I know that they would quarrel once in a while and all that, but I just didn't know that it was that deep, which would take me back to what I said in the beginning of the video, that we just see a tiny fraction of what happens in the love part. So it's very imperative that we're not too quick to judge people, or just too quick to judge them based off of what we see, you know, or what the camera captures, you know. Just, I think that's about it. Another thing that happened today was experts from Nupe in Niger State coming into the love part to teach the love guests, you know, traditional dances and folklore songs, because their presentation for this week is going to be all about the Nupe culture in Niger State. That's the middle belt, I suppose. I'm not really sure, guys, correct me. And it was actually a very fun time, if I must say. So I'm just really looking forward to their presentation on Saturday. I'll definitely bring you guys the gist. You guys already know that by now, right? Before I forget, guys, I actually got a shocker this morning. I realized that after I had filmed my video telling you guys that Bolanle and Arnold won the Love Nest for this week, something happened after that. Like, Aunty came with evidence to prove that Bolanle did not necessarily finish the puzzle correctly. There were some wrong pieces of puzzle that she had added, and that was because Arnold had a very colorful clothes. If you guys saw that picture inserted in my previous video, Arnold had a very colorful clothes, so it was really difficult to tell if this was the right piece or not. But Aunty brought evidence, and you know, the whole love guest could agree that there was something wrong with that puzzle. So she said that there was going to be another challenge, and whoever wins that challenge would then take over from Arnold and Bolanle, you know, in the love nest. So that means that they would have to come out of the love nest for the winners to go in. But if they win the challenge again, then they'll continue to stay. But she did something right. She did not chase them out of the love nest, you know, because it would have been very, very devastating, especially for me, if I had just been so excited, like, oh my god, I'm finally going to be spending some time in the love nest, and then Aunty comes and says, oh Betta, I'm sorry, you can't be there, please come back out because you did something very, very wrong with your puzzle. The thing will pay me enter my body. But other than that, nothing else has happened. Just the normal talk here, argument here, nothing serious. Yeah, whatever happens, I'll let you guys know. I'm doing so well with, you know, keeping to my schedule, and I hope that it continues this way. So until I fault again, I'm still here. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give me a very big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. We're almost at 16,000 subscribers. Why don't you help me get there? I mean, we're at 15,900 and something now, so it's not going to be that of a biggie, is it? Is it? Don't you like me enough to help me out? You guys claim to like me now. I mean, someone even noticed that every time I tie a scarf, it means that I'm coming with one very hot gist. And she actually mentioned it to me, and I was like, oh my god, you actually took note of that. It means you guys pay attention to me, and it means a whole lot to me. Thank you guys so much. Like, you don't understand it, but thank you. Alright, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.